Hi everyone, it's Craig again, and this is my final practice sheet video on mindfulness, practice sheet number 10 this is. So if you've been watching these videos, you'll have 10 different videos to kind of tune into, which gives you various practices in mindfulness. So I'll talk through, as I always do, these 4 practices. There's 4 on each sheet and in each video. So we'll start with what's on the screen. So the first practice is joy. So that's a word that is a practice as well as a feeling. In some ways, you can practice joy, and so there's ways of doing this. Just to begin, joy is present when we're present, when we're mindful. Joy is lost when we're up here thinking about past and future and worrying about this and worrying about that. You find when you're not very mindful, when you're in your head living in your thoughts, that there's not much joy. The joy disappears. We're in worry mode, we're in stress mode, we're tense, very fleeting moments of joy, if any. So it's an interesting measurement. You could kind of say, how joyful are you? How happy are you? The happier you are, the more mindful you are, because you're engaging with the moment, with the present moment. You could be watching a sunset, for example, and getting a lot of joy out of watching a sunset. Whereas some people miss sunsets. They might be on their mobile phone as they're walking through, not even seeing it. So when you're stopping and pausing and looking outward, you can get joy from the outside world, from nature. But we can also practice joy, and that's kind of what this practice is about here on this sheet. You can do things that you enjoy doing, which sounds very obvious. You can have a hobby. Maybe you're a gardener, maybe you're a keen gardener, maybe that gives you joy, to go out and potter about in a garden. The trick is giving ourselves permission to do our joy practices. Very often we're busy in our work kind of situation or our responsibilities in life, if we've got families and people that need our help. Often we're pulled away from our own joy into helping others and into sort of coping with life. It's very important practice to remember to come back and practice joy yourself. When you're practicing mindfulness, as I say, your joy is going up, which is a lovely thing. You find you get more humor, there's more lightness about you, you're less sensitive, you're kind of feeling okay about things. There's more an acceptance of what's going on in the moment. So when we lose our joy, as I say, it's because we're in our heads. It's good to notice this, try and come back to our mindfulness, our mindful breath, feeling our chair that we're sitting on, or walking mindfully, enjoying the sunshine on our face. Whatever the awareness is, that will root us back to mindfulness, and that will cultivate joy. But we can also do mindful colouring in, mindful reading, mindful gardening, as I mentioned, mindful cooking, mindful listening to music, whatever gives us joy. Mindful dancing, mindful singing, all of these things, it's worth taking the time to do them and try and do them in a mindful way, because you'll enhance your joy even more. So that's pretty much joy. It's trying to remember to practice it, because, as I say, we can get caught up in our work and our situation. And also to be more mindful in life will calm you, will quieten your mind, and will give rise to our natural state, which is kind of lightness and joy. We're meant to be having a nice time, really, on this planet. A lot of the time, all our thoughts and suffering is what drags us down. So, but as I always say, and with gratitude practices as well, you can always find a moment in any day to have a gratitude and to see the joy, to see the wonder in life. So it's just up here as a reminder. Notice if there's no joy in your life and see what you can do about that. Is there anything that you can cultivate to give you joy? So we'll move on from there to morning and evening breathing. So there's a person sleeping on the bed or whatever in the morning or in the evening, breathing. And morning breathing is a great way to start your day. You're starting your day in a mindful way. Often when we wake up, we might hit our alarm clock off or something. Pretty soon we'll be in our heads almost instantaneously. And we're thinking about the day ahead, or we're thinking about our problems or things that we haven't dealt with and issues that might be going on in our life. And often we can wake up feeling a bit grumpy or a bit kind of, lazy or sort of lethargic even. We just kind of, God, here we go again, another day. Sometimes we wake up like that. Sometimes we've had kind of remnants of dreams, still with us in the morning, and sometimes they can be a bit tense. If we're living in a tense way, then our dreams tend to be a bit like that as well. And so the practice of coming back to yourself before you even get out of bed, taking a deep breath, even one or two deep breaths, is enough to bring you back to yourself to start your day mindfully. And that's lovely. That's kind of trying to let go of all this stuff that's sort of residue from dreams or from the day before or things that are going on for you. You're letting go of them for those moments just as you wake up. You can carry on the process once you do get out of bed is, feel the ground under your feet, feel the carpet perhaps, or the laminate flooring. Walking from room to room, notice the change in temperature. Really take your time to focus on the ground and the feet and engage with what it is you're doing. This is what mindfulness is, paying attention to what you're doing. So the longer you can maintain this mindfulness for, the better for you, because you're not thinking about the future or the past, you're present, you're cultivating your awareness, your patience, all these lovely things. And again, before you go to sleep, it's lovely practice to breathe, have an evening breath. You can go into bed, switch off the light, few deep breaths again, just grounding yourself in the bed. You can feel the pillow, feel the duvet, the warmth of your bed, blankets, whatever, hot water bottle perhaps, but you're breathing and you're knowing you're breathing. And that can again take you away from your mind, take you away from all your issues and problems. Often people struggle to sleep and insomniacs, you're up here thinking about all sorts of things. Sometimes we're just moaning about the fact we can't sleep, so there's a thought. It's like, oh, I wish I could sleep, or why aren't I not sleeping? This is ridiculous, or, I just can't get out of my head. And, this is all these thoughts that are going around. The more we practice mindfulness and presence and calmness, the more we're with our awareness, the more we're quietening our mind. That's the first good tip for insomnia, is to meditate and to practice being in the moment, because that you're not rushing with your thoughts, you're making your thoughts less. It can help you to sleep. But this evening breathing practice, because you could be doing it every evening, is giving you a cultivation, a routine, if you like, of practicing mindfulness before you attempt to sleep. It can be very calming, and it can work over time to help you sleep better. So morning and evening breathing, you're kind of starting the day mindfully and you're finishing the day mindfully. That's pretty good. And if you're doing that every day, that's bringing your awareness up. You're cultivating a strengthening of your awareness and your concentration. It's all good for you. So that's morning and evening breathing. That's fairly straightforward. I'll just scroll down to the bottom two practices, the final two practices. And now I'm going to talk about pain. And I had joy as the first practice, and now we have pain, and they're on this sheet for a reason, because they're kind of, seems like they're the opposites of one another. You know, often we're wanting happiness and we're wanting joy, and we're not wanting pain and we're not wanting suffering. So this practice is actually about trying to honor when we have pain, when we have suffering, because it's inevitable that in life something is going to come, whether it's an illness or an issue outside of us, an event that's happened that's caused us a lot of suffering, maybe an illness of a friend or a death of someone close, or maybe some major event that's going on that's causing a lot of pain and suffering for a lot of other people. We can feel that too. And this kind of honoring the pain is not trying to kind of rush away from it or wish it away or not want the pain, and it's not trying to distract ourselves from our pain and seek joy because we're not feeling great. It's like joy practices are there to kind of cultivate being, um, and it's good to include those if we're feeling a bit busy during the day, as I was saying in the joy practice. But if you're feeling suffering, if you're angry or you're emotional in some way, or you're sad even, or you're feeling grief, it's much better to sit with that suffering if you can, however difficult that might sound, even just for a few moments or a minute or two, is better than just trying to distract yourself from it. We're honoring the signals that our body is giving us, because in mindfulness is about non-judgment and acceptance of everything. So whether you're joyful, we accept that. Whether we're in pain or we're suffering, we accept that. That's what mindfulness is about. If we're preferring one over the other, then we're not being mindful. We're judging one to be wrong or not what we want, or we're trying to separate ourselves from it. But the truth, the actuality, if you like, of what's happening to us is we are suffering with an event or with a condition or with an illness, whatever. So it's lovely to shine the light of mindfulness on these things. We're not shining the light of mindfulness on the pain in order to heal. It doesn't actually make pain go away, I'm afraid to say. But you will notice how you're feeling. This is very important in emotions like sadness and grief. You want to be with those emotions. You can breathe with the emotions. Sitting with an emotion is a lovely practice. And you're feeling it. Giving it space for pain to feel it will shift. It will shift in you, and it will change quicker. If you're distracting, it's still going to be there. Even years down the line, if you're keeping distracting yourself from this pain, it's still going to be there. It's still going to be a burden to you. This is unleashing the burden. This is letting go, in fact, by leaning into the pain and the suffering that you have. Because actually, the more you sit with it and breathe with it and give yourself kindness for having it, it's okay to feel feelings. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to have grief. We're not failing or anything like that. We are human. We're going to get all these emotions hitting us. Be with them, whatever they are, accept everything. And it will shift and change in your body, and you'll transform your pain and your suffering into something else. It may be acceptance of the issue. It may be a determination to do something in a different way. It may be a need to rest your body. There's all sorts of things that might come up, insights, wisdom from being with our pain. And you can sort of put pain in a landscape. It's not just you and the pain and that's it. The more you sit with it, you start seeing external influences or why you're feeling the way you're feeling, and this is powerful stuff because it can really give you an understanding of where you're at and how you're feeling and how your interactions are with life, whether you're in habits or maybe you are avoiding things or not. This is what mindfulness is so useful at providing. It's that awareness. It's, as I say, you put a torchlight on to what's going on, and you're trying to accept what's going on. Um, if you can manage to do that, you're honoring your pain. You know, even pain can be a gift. It can be a signal to be like, right, okay, I need to maybe stop doing unconsciously what I'm doing because actually I'm noticing that's causing something. That's a conflict there. My body's telling me, whether it's achiness or emotional, or mental, it's telling you stuff. So you want to honor the signal. It's good. Be kind. It's like, okay, yeah, I am sad. With everything that's going on in the world right now, it's going to be tough for a lot of people, and it's enough to make us feel sad or despairing or anxious, or a number of things that give us an emotion or painful experiences. It's good to be with your body at all times, breathing, honoring, having that kind of sacred space to pause and sit and reflect and try and understand where you're at and not just distract mindlessly onto other things. This is why we have a lot more suffering than necessary. We all get a bit of something that happens during our lives, but we add to it with our thinking and our judgments of things, and that just makes the pain bigger. And we hold on to things from the past. We haven't let go of them, so they're still there. And you find that the more you hold on to, and the more you're in your head, as your future goes on, you get heavier and heavier, and the suffering is clear to see. Every time you sit with an emotion like sadness or grief, you're giving it the chance to show itself and you're almost befriending it. And if you can befriend it, you can see gifts from it, you can see lessons from it. Everything unfolds, you're in the flow of what's happening, you're accepting what is, you'll feel better in the long run, and these things won't have a hold over you. They won't be a burden. They'll just be things that come up every now and then. And things do recur, grief in particular can come back and back and back. But each time it comes, you're giving it a hug, you're giving yourself a hug, you're staying present for it. It'll pass. Everything passes. You'll learn, you'll have wisdom from it. You'll be able to have compassion for yourself and for other people who are going through a similar situation. That's the beauty of the suffering. So try and honor the difficult times, the things where there is no joy, because everything is guiding you and nurturing you and pushing you in a direction which is of benefit to you if you recognize it and you can see it for that. So that's that. And it brings me finally onto this one, story of the week. You could also do story of the day if you like. It doesn't have to be a week. And it's just taking a little notebook and writing down, how's my day been, or how's my week been? Have I had any feelings? Well, I've been breathing, yes. I've had a bit of joy. Monday was quite joyful, but Tuesday was rubbish. That wasn't very good, and I felt heavy and tired actually on Tuesday. Oh, and it was because of that thing that happened, and that's still annoying me actually. And I know it's now Saturday, and I'm still thinking about it, but you're just writing these kind of little notes. It's like a story. It's almost like a diary of where you've been for a week or a day. And so this is good because you're journaling your life. You're starting to notice peaks and troughs as well. Because sometimes we subconsciously think we're having a really tough time, but you can look back on these things, a bit like the gratitude journal, and you see actually that there are days where it was actually all right. I had some joy there, or I saw an amazing sunset, and that was good. Or a friend came and phoned me, and we had a lovely chat. So that's a peak. Oh, and yeah, this has gone down. I'm feeling a bit down in the dumps today. So that's down. But you're noticing changes. You see, it's not always down. There's going to be ups as well. So this is a practice to sort of visualize, highlight, if you like, your ups and downs. And when there's lots of downs, if you're doing this weekly and there are more troughs than peaks, then it's good to be curious about that and check in with your body and practice your mindfulness and come back to the moment and think, have I been in my head a lot? Have I been thinking about the future a lot or the past? Am I worrying about something? Am I stressed over something? Is my body giving me signals? Is it giving me aches or pains perhaps? Or emotions? Have I been emotional? Have I been tired? These are good questions to ask. Because once you recognize that maybe for a couple of weeks you've been up here mulling over a particular problem and feeling quite drained from it, that's when you've got a chance of changing, of practicing your mindfulness and coming back to the moment, trying to, maybe I can let that go, or maybe I can do something about it to get it away from my head, or, there's ways. Maybe I need to just sit and rest for a bit. My body's tired, I recognize it's tired. I need time out, because we all need time out. And so you're tuning into the awareness of your body and what it's trying to say to you. This is giving you a snapshot written in a wee journal or notebook to let you know how you're doing. Because often in life we're on a treadmill and we're rushing, thinking about the future. We're not having time to stop and sit and kind of go, how am I doing? How's my week gone? How have I been feeling? We always remember the negative stuff. And that can drag us down. Or we're getting bombarded by more and more negative stuff as well that we see, and we just think everything's negative. But actually, this will prove otherwise, if you're honest. There's going to be moments, even if it's just enjoying a chocolate bar, or, you'll have these moments. Nothing is the same. Every day is different. And noticing the differences is a good thing, because you know that if there are downhill troughs, that there's going to be peaks. There's going to be something to be grateful for. And the more you practice your mindfulness, you'll find that there's more peaks than troughs. And you'll find there's more joy than suffering. Or you find that when there's suffering, you can transform it and you become joyful. So actually, the mindful journey, you end up with more joy and more calmness and more peacefulness, and your story will reflect that. So it produces a really interesting journey and snapshot of your life. So that's the practices. And I, thank you for watching all of these videos if you have. And you've come through and you're at number 10. That's all of them. I am going to finish with a meditation, so it's not quite finished yet. And then going forward, I'll be producing different videos with the theme of mindfulness. So feel free to come back and watch those. So I hope it's been useful. I hope these have given you a snapshot of some elements of mindfulness and what it can do for you and how it can help you. Some very simple practices like just breathing in the morning, walking, feeling the ground, using awareness to ground yourself to the moment. That's what it's about. So incidentally, if you want this sheet, you can download it from www.craig-gilbert.com. Go to the video link on the front page, This is practice sheet number 10. You'll be able to download this sheet, so you can have a whole file of them if you like. So we'll finish with meditation as I do. So again, I thank you everybody for watching and coming this far. So I invite you just to close your eyes. I have a singing bowl here. So I shall hit that to begin and make a nice noise. And let's meditate for a few minutes and give ourselves that joy and that peace just for these moments. Here we go. So just start by noticing your breath, noticing your in-breath and your out-breath. Feeling the air as you breathe in, feeling the air as you breathe out. Breathing in, you know you're breathing in. Breathing out, you know you're breathing out. Noticing if your mind wanders away from your breath. Just smiling and gently bringing your focus back to your breath. Breathing in calmly, breathing out easily. Just get a sense of your body just now, how you're sitting, feeling the ground under your feet, chair supporting you as you sit. Just tune in how you're feeling just now. Maybe an emotion or some sensations in your body. Breathing in awareness to your body. Breathing out calmness to your body. And just tune in to any sounds that might be present. Listening, just letting each sound come and go in each moment. So just take a few more conscious breaths, feeling the air as you breathe in, feeling the air as you breathe out. And then just when you're ready, gently open your eyes, come back to your space. Okay, so thanks very much for watching this video and for meditating with me and for listening to me. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your day and enjoy your evening. And I'll see you another time for another video. So take care, everybody.